After my husband's business went bankrupt, his family blamed me. His mother screamed, "You ruined his life." He agreed, "You were a distraction." Devastated, I pleaded, "We promised to face this together." But when I uncovered his secret bank account, I realized who the real betrayer was. I remember the exact moment everything crumbled. It was a humid August morning in Atlanta, and I was sitting across from my husband, Mark, in our sunlit kitchen. The smell of freshly brewed coffee lingered in the air, but the atmosphere was anything but warm. Mark looked at me, his eyes void of the spark they once held. "It's over," he said flatly. I blinked, trying to process his words. "What do you mean?" "The business. It's bankrupt. We're done." I felt the floor give way beneath me. Mark's construction company had been our livelihood for the past decade. We'd built it from the ground up, sacrificing weekends, holidays, and countless hours to make it successful. "But how?" I stammered. He shrugged, avoiding my gaze. "Bad investments. The market's been rough." I reached out, placing my hand over his. "We'll get through this. Together." He pulled away. "You don't get it, Sarah. This isn't just a setback. It's the end." The news spread quickly. Mark's mother, Evelyn, called me that evening, her voice dripping with disdain. "You ruined his life," she spat. "He had everything until you came along." I was taken aback. "Evelyn, this isn't my fault. Mark and I made decisions together. Don't you dare deflect. You were always a distraction. He lost focus because of you." I hung up, tears streaming down my face. That night, Mark confirmed her sentiments. "Maybe she's right," he muttered. "Maybe I did lose focus." I felt a pang in my chest. We promised to face everything together. He looked away. Promises don't pay the bills. Weeks turned into months. Mark moved out, and I was left to pick up the pieces. One day, while sorting through old files, I stumbled upon a bank statement addressed to Mark. Curiosity piqued. I opened it. My eyes widened as I scanned the document. A secret account with over $200,000. Transactions dating back years. My hands trembled. Why would he hide this from me? I dug deeper, uncovering more accounts, investments, and even property deeds, all in his name. The realization hit me like a freight train. Mark had been siphoning money, preparing for an escape. I confronted Mark at his new apartment in Buckhead. "You lied to me," I said, throwing the statements on his coffee table. He looked at them, unbothered. "I did what I had to do." "You left me with nothing while you hoarded money?" He smirked. "You were a distraction. I needed to secure my future." Fury bubbled within me. "You betrayed me." He shrugged. "Get over it." I couldn't let him get away with this. I began documenting everything, every transaction, every hidden asset. I hired a lawyer, determined to expose his deceit. But I wanted more than legal justice. I wanted him to feel the pain he inflicted. I reached out to former clients, revealing his fraudulent activities. I contacted the IRS, providing evidence of tax evasion. I even tipped off the media, ensuring his downfall was public. The consequences were swift. Mark's reputation was destroyed. He faced legal charges, lost his assets, and was ostracized by his peers. Evelyn called me, her voice trembling. "What have you done?" I replied calmly, "I exposed the truth." Years later, I stood outside my new home in Savannah, the salty breeze brushing against my skin. I'd rebuilt my life, stronger and wiser. A letter arrived from Mark, now serving time in prison. He apologized, admitting his wrongdoings. I read it, then tossed it into the fireplace. Some betrayals are unforgivable. A few weeks after burning Mark's apology letter, another envelope showed up. No return address. Thick paper. Heavy. Inside was a photo of Mark, not from prison, but sitting at a patio table in Miami. Sunglasses on, tan skin, drink in hand. My breath caught. I flipped the photo. Scribbled on the back were 4 chilling words: "You didn't finish it." My heart pounded in my ears. Was this a sick joke? I called the prison. Mark had never checked in. His lawyer, apparently, had filed some kind of medical appeal. He was under evaluation, but that was 6 months ago. The trail went cold. I called my old lawyer, Dave, a gruff but trustworthy guy from Marietta. He's alive, Dave. I saw a photo. Silence. You sure it's him? Unless he has a twin. We pulled every string. Old banking buddies. Mutual friends. We even dug into crypto accounts, which I'd never thought he'd use. One night, I found it. A trail of transactions from a fake name, but I recognized the pattern. Same withdrawals. Same timing. Mark was laundering money under an alias, Dale Murdoch. I booked a flight. I didn't tell anyone, not even Dave. Something in me needed to see him face to face. I checked into a small hotel near Little Havana. It didn't take long. He had a new life. New name. Even a new girlfriend, young, tanned, and clueless. I watched them from a cafe across the street for 2 days. The rage inside me didn't fade, but neither did the fear. What if he saw me? What if he planned for me to come? On the 3rd day, I left a note on his car windshield. Dale, I know. We need to talk. Alone. Tonight. No tricks. I signed it with the nickname he used to call me, Red. That night, I waited at a quiet park bench near Biscayne Bay. The sun was setting, casting orange streaks across the sky. He showed up. Same walk. Same stupid smirk. But now, colder. You always were dramatic, he said. You faked everything, I whispered. He laughed. You think this is new? I was planning my exit for years, Red. I stared at him. Why send the photo? He leaned in. Because I missed the game. Suddenly, I wasn't scared. I was done playing. You know what I did before I left Atlanta? I said. He raised an eyebrow. I copied all your files, passwords, and every alias. I handed them to Homeland Security. Tax fraud, stolen IDs, shell companies across 3 states. His smirk faltered. You're bluffing. I pulled out my phone, pressed play. A recording of a Homeland agent's voicemail filled the air. Ms. Reed, we've launched a full investigation. Thanks to your information, we believe Mark Lambert is connected to a much larger scheme. Mark's face went pale. I stood up. You didn't finish it either. I walked away, heart racing. He didn't follow, but someone else did. That night, I caught a man tailing me back to the hotel. Not Mark, someone bigger, meaner. Connected. The next morning, I was gone, checked out, and headed north. I didn't go home. I went underground. I'd uncovered something bigger than revenge. Something dangerous. I stayed with Dave's cousin, Carla, in Asheville, North Carolina. She'd once been a cybercrime analyst, now retired, bored, and very good with encryption. We locked down my devices, tracked Mark's movements, built a case. And slowly, the truth unraveled. Mark was laundering for a corporate ring based out of Nevada. Dirty contractors. Government funds. He wasn't just a liar. He was part of a machine. And now, they knew I knew. One night, I got a call from an unknown number. I didn't answer. A text followed. We warned you. Stop digging. I showed Carla. She didn't flinch. We're close, she said. They're scared. But I was scared too. Every sound. Every car. Every stranger. I wasn't just facing my ex-husband anymore. I was staring down a criminal web that spanned cities and banks and dirty politics. But I wasn't backing down. Because I wasn't just trying to expose Mark anymore. I was going to take the whole damn system down. A week into hiding in Asheville, I woke up to find Carla gone. Her laptop was missing. Her phone wiped clean. At first, I thought maybe she went for groceries or a walk. But hours passed. Then a knock on the door. A package. No return label. Just a USB drive inside, and a handwritten note. Trust is earned. But truth burns louder. I plugged it into an old burner laptop Carla made me use. Files loaded. Videos. Emails. A voice recording. Carla's voice. I know this is a shock, Sarah. I used to work for them. Not the good guys. The other ones. I was part of the very machine Mark got tangled up in. I left years ago. Went off-grid. But helping you. They found me. I had to go. I'll try to circle back. But you need to finish this. My skin prickled. Carla had worked with them, and now she was gone. I returned to Atlanta under a new name, Sandra Lee. Fake ID, burner phone, tinted sunglasses. I couldn't stay quiet anymore. I reached out to a journalist I used to teach yoga with, Jenna, now working freelance with ProPublica. We met in a dark corner of a Waffle House near I-75. I spilled everything. Mark. The fake bankruptcy. The Miami sighting. Carla's files. The shell companies. The IRS. The texts. Jenna's hands trembled. If half this is real, this could blow up a dozen contractors. Possibly some dirty politicians. I want names, I said. I want Mark to burn in every headline. Jenna agreed to take it slow. Quiet. Careful. But nothing about what came next was careful. 2 nights later, Jenna called me in a panic. Sarah, they know. Someone hacked my email. My backup drive's gone. They wiped my cloud. I met her outside her apartment, only to see blue and red lights flashing. Feds. But they weren't arresting anyone. They were questioning her. The lead agent glanced at me. You're not on our list, he said. I walked away. Fast. Later that night, Jenna texted me one word, run. I made it back to my hideout in one piece, but my nerves were shot. That's when the second bomb dropped. Dave, the lawyer who helped me in the beginning? Yeah. Turns out he was never on my side. He called. You've made too much noise, he said coldly. You think you're playing justice? This is survival, Sarah. You're not cut out for this. You were in on it? I am in it. And I tried to protect you. But you didn't listen. I didn't respond. I just hung up. One more betrayal. One more knife in the back. But if they thought I was weak, they were wrong. I started leaking pieces of the story. Not all at once. Little bits. Online forums. Anonymous tips. Reddit threads. Crypto journalist collectives. Every leak was bait. And one took it. A man named Marcus D. reached out. Claimed to be a whistleblower from one of the shell companies. Ran security for Mark's offshore accounts. I know where he's hiding, Marcus said. And I want out too. I didn't trust him. But I met him anyway, outside a pawn shop in Baton Rouge. He handed me a thumb drive. Everything's on there. You're not the only one who's been used. Then he vanished into the crowd. The data showed Mark was hiding out in the Florida Keys, a private island, bought under yet another fake name, through a Panamanian trust. I stared at the satellite image. A house, a dock, a small boat. He thought he was untouchable. But this time, I wasn't going alone. I reached out to Jenna again. She was furious and fearless. Carla, miraculously, sent one more message. I'm back. And I have friends. Ex-hackers. Tech misfits. A retired NSA guy who owed Carla a favor. We built a small army. Quiet. Mobile. Smart. We called ourselves the Ashers after Asheville, where it all started. And we had one goal. Bring down the network from inside. Mark was just the crack. We were going to break the dam. We arrived by boat just before dawn. The sky was bruised purple, storm clouds swirling over the water. Mark's island looked peaceful, too peaceful. Palm trees swayed in the humid breeze, and the only sound was the low hum of a generator. I had a pistol in my waistband. Jenna carried a camcorder. Carla's team had eyes on the perimeter. Everyone was on edge. We split up. I headed toward the main house alone. My heart pounded so loud I thought he could hear it. The front door wasn't locked. I stepped inside. There he was, sitting in a chair, waiting. You never knew when to quit, Mark said, swirling a glass of whiskey. You never knew when to stop lying, I shot back. You think this is all my fault? He asked, standing slowly. You knew what I was doing. I froze. What? You didn't ask questions when I bought that second house in Buckhead. You didn't blink when the business struggled, but our lifestyle never changed. You loved the money, Sarah. You helped me hide it. No, I whispered. I trusted you. You trusted what you wanted to see. I didn't know what to say. I had ignored the signs. The late nights. The fake invoices. The cash payments. I didn't stop him. I didn't even try. And now, I was in this mess too. I sat down across from him. Tell me everything, I said. And he did. He told me how he got in deep with defense contractors in Nevada, how they used shell companies to steal federal money, how he moved millions offshore. He told me about the people who went missing, the ones who talked, and he told me what he had planned next. I was going to disappear. New name, new passport, South America. But you sent me that photo, I said. You wanted me to follow you. He nodded. I did. I missed the game. And I wanted you to see who really won. I pulled out the pistol. His smirk faded. You're not going to shoot me, he said. No, I said. I'm going to ruin you first. Outside, Carla's team had intercepted the island's internet. Jenna was live streaming everything to over 100,000 people. Every word Mark said. Every confession. Every detail. The feed went viral. We sent the location to federal agents. The boat was gone, sabotaged by Carla. No escape. Mark lunged at me. I fired. The bullet hit his shoulder. He dropped like a stone, screaming. I stood over him, shaking. You ruined yourself, I whispered. Agents swarmed the island hours later. Mark was arrested. Jenna's footage made national news. The entire contractor scheme unraveled. 6 CEOs went down. Dozens of government officials were exposed. Carla disappeared again. Her work was done. I turned myself in. I admitted I'd ignored the signs. That I'd let greed blind me. That I stayed quiet when I should have asked questions. I paid a fine. Lost everything I'd rebuilt. But I was free. I now live in a small cabin outside Flagstaff, Arizona. Off-grid. Quiet. Sometimes I still have nightmares. Sometimes I still miss the life I had. But I never miss him. Revenge didn't fix everything. But it gave me peace. We all made mistakes. And we all paid.